I want to work off of what you shared, Tommy, in terms of a scarcity mindset. I think that's something that's so pervasive in the nonprofit space and for very understandable reasons. And with that in mind, I think when we think about some of the things that get in the way of cross functional collaboration, one of the things that comes to mind for me is how we think about cross functional collaboration. Because if we're viewing it from the perspective of, I don't have the time and capacity for this, and I'll get into another aspect that comes to mind when I say that. But if we're thinking about it from the perspective of, I don't have the time and capacity, we're not necessarily seeing the ways that other departments can help us be more efficient, get the job done faster, and get it done better. I think it's so cool that in this space, my main background is program. We've got operations, events, and fundraising and development. And I think it's so interesting that it's coming from each of us here. But one of the things that I found when I shifted from program into very recently, and just 2 years ago, I guess not that recently anymore, government relations, is that I was doing a lot of work that I secretly realized a year later I was replicating work being done in another department that I had no idea I had replicated. And as I dove deeper into other departments, I realized, oh, wow, this collaboration means one less thing that I need to do. So, from a perspective of not enough time, which is something we're all dealing with, collaboration can actually reduce the amount of time that we have to spend working on something so it can be really productive from a time management lens. But I also don't want to not speak to like systemic aspects and just organizational aspects in general. I could get into the how how the whole funding ecosystem impacts scarcity, but I'll just speak from the broader organization and say it's really important when we want staff members to collaborate that staff members are not too overwhelmed to collaborate, that we're thinking about their roles such that there is at least a little time built in for cross functional collaboration. So I think it needs to happen in terms of the individual mindset shift, but also in terms of the organization from the top really prioritizing cross functional collaboration.